I'm happy for you. Before you came in, what you don't realise is I was smiling because you recoupled. I was happy for you. I feel like we come from very similar backgrounds. I've really got on with her. She dedicated
If you're going to try and make it out like I'm playing the game, the only one that's playing the massive game is you. But I feel like everything I had with you was fake.
It was.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. I have to start with an apology. I'm so sorry. I was late in uploading my recording. It deleted itself, and then I had to go to work, so I've just had to redo it again. Anyway, just when you thought Olivia couldn't get any worse, she says, "Hold my beer. I'm going to show you the worst of the worst." What is it? Is it her sort of trying to start something with Kai, or her trying to start something with Sana? When all else fails, she decides to start to pick on Cynthia, and it's like, what has Cynthia done? You haven't even met the girl. You haven't even spoken to her, apart from saying hello and goodbye. Oh my God. Anyway, in this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 9, Episode 33. If you're new to my channel, please leave a like and a comment and don't forget to subscribe. So, the episode starts off with everyone saying goodbye. So, the islanders are saying goodbye to the Casa girls and boys. And the boys, you can tell, are really heartbroken for Shaq because Kai sort of hugs Shaq and it says, it's out of order, bro. We'll talk about it probably as soon as we can. I think because they can see that Shaq is not happy. Everybody saw the sacrifices he made and how he stayed loyal to Tanya. And so for this to suddenly happen to him, I think all the boys are very upset about it because had he kissed someone or gone to bed with someone, then it would have been understandable. But the fact that he didn't do anything with anyone is what makes it worse. And I have to give it to him because he actually hugged Martin and was cordial with him. And the Casa people leave, everybody leaves, except for Maxwell, Martin, and Sanaa, who are now part of the Islanders. Tom goes to hug Jessie to have a conversation with her, and then she just starts crying. It's like, you and Will were not exclusive. You're not boyfriend and girlfriend. So I don't understand why she's so heartbroken. Is it the fact that they went all the way in the hideaway or what? Will tries to speak to her and she sort of tells him, I don't want to talk to you now. And it's understandable that she didn't want to talk to him because it was too soon. She needed to process. Um, and all the guys you can tell are really upset for Shaq because even Casey and company go and give Shaq a hug to sort of try and not pacify him because he was very calm, but just to show him love to say that even though things have gone this way, it's okay. We're here for you. Run, everybody walks up to Shaq and they're sort of just trying to comfort him. Jesse goes to give Shaq a hug, and it's sweet that they're all sort of looking after each other's best interest. Will is heartbroken. He doesn't know what to do. He's at a loss because Jesse has refused to talk to him and she's talking to everybody else except for Will, and it's like, why would you do that to him? He's now a broken man. It's either you talk to him or you take time to yourself and you don't need to speak to everybody else because she starts talking to Casey and Shaq and they try to comfort her to say, he feels very very bad for what he did and yes he made a mistake but he is very apologetic about it and you can see that the guys are trying to sort of speak up for him. Shaq then goes aside and he's with Tom, Ron, Casey, and Will, and they're sort of there talking to him because he's really upset by the fact that he told Tanya he loved her, did everything to prove that he loved her, only for her to go to Casamo and come back with someone. And it's when he becomes so overwhelmed, it's nice to see all the guys sort of surround him and show him love because I think they know how heartbroken he is and how serious he is about Tanya. In his confessionals, he says, he told her he loved her, he did everything to respect her, and so this is it for him. He's done. Tanya on the other side is busy speaking to Olivia and Jesse and is crying. To say, he said it's over. And it's like, what did you expect, Sherlock Holmes? Did you expect him to greet you with open arms and say, oh, well done. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing Martin. Amazing. I don't, you know, had she behaved the way India behaved in Casa, I think Shaq would be more accepting because when movie night comes, Shaq is going to see her in bed with Martin kissing. He's going to see her trying to push Martin for a kiss in the kitchen. He's going to see her cuddling Martin and being all over Martin. And I don't think that's going to go down very well, but we'll see how that plays out. Ron and Lana are on cloud nine. Ron is excited that Lana came on her own. Lana is excited that Ron didn't do anything. Ron is sort of trying to tell Lana that, I was dying for Casa to end because I really missed you, and I'm so happy to see you. And it's like, Ron was interested in Sanaa. And then something made him stop. And we never found out why he suddenly stopped pursuing Sanaa because he spent a lot of time with Sanaa before Sanaa even kissed Casey or went to Kai. So I don't get how, he's getting away, with playing the good guy. But anyway, at least he didn't kiss anyone. So that's good for him. And then you have Kai and Sana. I love Kai and Sana because as soon as everybody went away, Kai held Sana's hand and off they went to the bin bags to sit down and have a conversation. And you can see she makes him happy. Liv is not happy. She's sort of glancing at them, but you can see Sana makes Kai happy. Kai is happy. Is reassuring Sana that he's happy with his decision. He's happy he brought her from Casa, and is happy, that they're together because he feels that they could work on the outside. He's always smiling. It's a totally different Kai, and I'm happy that some of the viewers have noticed that Sana brings a different side out of Kai that we haven't seen. She gives him personality. She brings out his joyful side and his caring side, and so it's a beautiful thing to see. And I really hope a lot of people see this, and I hope Olivia sort of trying to turn against um Kai backfires and everybody votes to save Kai. But anyway, then Olivia goes to Jesse and Sammy, and they're talking, and Jesse's moaning about Will and what he did. Um, Sammy's got her own issues with Tom saying that he wanted to kiss someone to test their connection, and Olivia's complaining bitterly about how dare Kai recouple with somebody else, and it's like, Madam, you brought Maxwell from Casa, so you have no right to be upset. Few minutes, she's questioning Sanam and Kai's connection. It's just like, you've barely seen them talk. How do you know how strong their connection is or how weak it is? And I like the fact that when Sanam walks in on their conversation, she just walks past, she doesn't say anything. And Olivia gives her this fake plastic smile. And it's like, what has she done to you? Why are you treating her like that? You started your mean girl behavior. This is how you treated Zara, and you treat every other girl, and I don't know how the producers allow you to get away with this. I really don't get it. Sits down to have a chat with Claudia, and Casey's not slick. He's really not slick. So he's asked, can you explain to me what happened in Casa? He talks about Sanam and their connection, and then he's asked, with the other girl, he seems to be closer, and the words out of his mouth are, I think you will find this funny. So he didn't answer about Cynthia. Instead, what he did is he describes this scene on the terrace when Cynthia straddled him, and then he said, it was literally 2 seconds, and that was it. I think there was more to that connection with Cynthia, and I think he didn't want to discuss it. And this is why he avoided it by talking about something very light and sort of brushed over it. Because had it been nothing, he would have said, oh, well, it was really nothing, nothing happened. But the fact that he diverted and discussed the straddling incident instead of discussing his connection, the way he discussed his connection with Cynthia, makes me believe that his connection with Cynthia was way stronger because of the fact that even at the fire pit, in front of everybody, he apologized to her. Yes, everyone might not have seen it, but he mouthed it. And if you look at the beginning of the episode or in the clip that I've attached, you'll see him actually mouth to her, I'm sorry. And she says, don't worry. So I think his connection with Cynthia was stronger, but he did what was in his best interest in order to stay in the villa and to give himself a better chance of winning the show. This is the impression that I'm getting. And Martin having a conversation, and Martin is asking, it was muggy of you by the fire pit. I felt like an idiot because you said I was a test. And what did you mean by a test? And I was like, bro, you made your way into the villa by minimizing her relationship or her connection with Shaq. You talked badly about Shaq. So whatever she said, you have to deal with it because you put yourself in a position to be treated this way by minimizing somebody else's relationship and belittling it. This is what you get. You can't pretend like, you just came in like Maxwell and just sat back and waited for Tanya to make a decision. No, you applied a lot of pressure and you knew she had a connection with Shaq. You knew they had exchanged I love yous, so you can't suddenly start going in your feelings and saying, "Oh, I felt stupid standing there with you saying that, saying that I'm a test and stuff." And it's like, bro, you asked for it, sit down and deal with it. And I think Tanya, this is where it started to dawn on her that she might have shot herself in the foot. They say it's better the devil that you know than an angel you don't, because at least with Shaq, he has these loving qualities that he's been showing her, whereas Martin has just been applying pressure and he's just been telling her what she wants to hear in order to get into the villa. And now that he's there, he's now sort of enjoying the villa and sort of being standoffish with her, and she's going to regret it. Hey. Shaq walks across and asks to have a conversation with Martin. I think Martin is very full of himself. I think he's very pompous. Given the fact that he's 27-year-old, he's very petty in the sense that Shaq is saying to him, um, I want you to know there's no bad blood. It is what it is. I'm happy for you and Tanya. If that's what she wants, then hey, do you? And Martin is like, well, you've explored one connection for a long time and you want to explore another connection to see if it's just as strong. We all want the same thing. And it's like, I don't think that's what you needed to say. I do not think that's what you needed to say. You needed to just sit there, let him talk, and then say, okay, fine, thank you. You don't know this man, and how dare you patronize him and try and talk to him like he's a little kid. I didn't like that. And then Olivia obviously has to pull Sanam aside to have a conversation. For what reason? I do not know, because she's recoupled with Maxwell. As to so Olivia talks to Sanam while Kai is speaking to Maxwell, and Olivia is trying to come across, as um better than, because she says, you were smiling like a Cheshire cat, and that really upset me. And it's like, why would it upset you? Why? Had you come back single and you were smiling, then it's one thing. But he was happy for you that you're in a coupling, he's in a coupling, so no one is going to be single. So why would you be upset? And I like the way that Sana was. She really handled it in a very classy way. She just sat there, she listened, she said, I understand how you feel. And I think Olivia was looking for a fight and didn't get it. And that sort of left her with nothing else to do, because I think she wanted a confrontation, and when she didn't get the confrontation, she couldn't play victim, or she couldn't start saying, "Oh, Sana is picking on me," because Sana says, it is what it is, and so they hugged it out, and off she went. And Kai spoke to Maxwell and told him, "I'm happy for you. At the end of the day, I want you to know that." Liv is a great guy. He actually talked her up. She's a great guy. She's a great girl. She's had a bad time in here. So, if you have a connection with you, good on you. I am with Chanel. We come from similar backgrounds. We have a lot more in common, and I'm happy in my coupling. So please don't expect me to come back to live. I'm happy where I am, and it is what it is. And this is the difference with Martin as well, because Maxwell didn't say anything. He just sat there, listened to Kai speak, and then went, "Oh, okay, thank you." Whereas Martin is very pompous, and he's trying to be patronizing towards Shaq, and it's like, it's not that deep. I've already said Tanya's going to play you the same way she played David, and you thought you were it, and now she's really shown you that she is going to play you like she played David. Anyway, then Sammy has a conversation with Tom, sort of wanting to know exactly what happened on the terrace to laugh in order not to cry. So Tom and Sammy have a conversation, and Sammy sort of asking, "Okay, what happened with Lydia? What did you do? Did you kiss her in bed?" He said, "No, I didn't kiss her in bed on my mom's life. I took her up to the terrace," and then Sammy starts laughing because he's known as Terrace Tom for a reason, because that's where he kissed most of his girls. And so the idea that he did the same thing with Lydia, and Sam is like, why did you have to kiss her? Well, I was testing my connection. And it's like, you don't need to kiss her in order to test your connection. And I don't think this makes sense for Tom. This is why Sarah was saying Tom is making the most, because in her interview, she said Tom is making the most of his time in the villa. And for sure, he is definitely making the most. So Sammy lets him know that she's going to have a word with Sana and actually find out exactly what happened. And conversation with Sana, and Sana, just tells her exactly what she knows or what she saw. She doesn't exaggerate anything, and the fact she tells the truth that Tom was spending most of his time with Lydia. They were happily in bed. She didn't see them kiss in bed, and Sammy wants to know the details. And I am happy that the producers ended up bringing the cast of girls to speak to these girls and tell them exactly what went on with their guys, because then it would sort of vindicate Sana, and Sana wouldn't be seen as being a pot stirrer. From there, Kai calls Olivia to have a conversation, and Kai already said at the fire pit he's not a confrontational person. He doesn't like confrontation, and he doesn't get how Olivia's upset with him, given the fact that she recoupled with Maxwell. He was actually happy for her because Kai had found Sana and was happy that Olivia found Maxwell because then she wouldn't be on her own because he had chosen to recouple with Sana. And so Olivia to say, "Oh, you were playing games and your feelings for me were fake," and it's like. You accused Sarah of playing games. You accused Tanil of playing games. Now you're accusing Kai of playing games. You are the game player. Because how can you see everybody else is playing games, but you are innocent of playing games? You're playing games. You're trying to make yourself, this high and mighty person that you're not. And you're trying to play victim all the time and making everybody else appear bad so that whoever you choose to couple with, you will win in the end. And I don't get why she just didn't walk in, behave herself, focus on Maxwell, and strengthen her connection. That way, the viewers would realize that she's actually really interested in this guy because she did the same thing with Zara. She fought with Zara over Tom. Now she's fighting with Kai because Sana has refused to fight with her about Kai, so she's now fighting with Kai, even though Kai told her, "I don't like arguing." And then she storms off. She nearly falls off, and it's like, "Ah, please, suck it up." She goes over to Lana to complain bitterly, and it's like, "Why are you complaining? Oh, his feelings changed for me just like that." And it's like, you kissed Maxwell within less than 24 hours. You took him to the kitchen, you kissed him, and decided you were going to recouple with him. Don't play victim. Don't make it seem like somebody has wronged you. And I don't get why these girls are not honest with one another because Lana should have told Olivia the truth that, it is what it is. You need to move on. This is not a good look for you. He goes to get ready for the night. Uh, Jessie's still crying. I don't know why she's still crying. They were not exclusive. They didn't say I love you, so it is what it is. She's free to move on. She doesn't really have to keep crying like that. Tanya is moaning bitterly to Lana. Everybody's moaning to Lana about the fact that Shaq's ego is bruised because she recoupled with Martin, and it's like it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. Shaq will move on. Let him bring a bombshell, and he will move on. And then Sammy is telling the girls that Tom kissed Lydia on the terrace. Um, and it's just, oh my god, it's a mess. Will then says he's going to lay downstairs, and that's where Shaq is sleeping downstairs, obviously because he's single, so he gets to sleep downstairs with Will. And I think it was great the fact that I know it's bad because Jesse and Will are in a bad place, but it was good for Shaq because he didn't go to sleep downstairs on his own, and it was interesting that everybody in bed that's recoupled were sleeping in opposite directions. The only people that were cuddling were Kai and Sana. They were in their own little world, and Claudia and Casey were busy kissing. Everybody else, you know, is upset. Apart from Lana and Ron, they are happy as well. In the morning they have the usual debrief. Kai is gone because when they're debriefing, Kai is excited about his connection with Sana. He's happy that things are going amazing, and it is what it is. And Maxwell is happy with his connection as well. And then Martin is asked, "Oh well, I'm really happy to be here." And the elephant in the room, and it's like, really, really. Really, that's all you have to say. Shaq, on the other hand, says, for him, it's over. Tanya still thinks they're still together, but for him, it's done because he's lost all trust for her and he doesn't see himself being able to trust her again. The girls are not being honest with Tanya. They should have been honest with her to say you're wrong, but they're saying, oh, you need to give Martin a chance to get to know him, and you also need to wait and see what Shaq does. And it's like, not really. Anyway, Shaq is moving on, and I hope they do bring him a bombshell. I hope they don't have a recoupling whereby he has no choice but to recouple with Tanya because I don't think that's it. And then you have Tom in the kitchen making, I don't even know what the heck he was making for poor Sammy's birthday because it's Sammy's birthday. So he has a couple of blueberries, yogurt, and he had these strawberries that he's busy munching away and he's placing on the side of the plate, and it's just like. "Mm, at least cut off the stems. At least cut off the stems. I think he's trying to get himself out of the doghouse. He knows Sammy doesn't eat breakfast, but he's trying to do something nice for her birthday, and he's also trying to get out of the doghouse. And I really don't get how that's going to happen. I like the fact that Shaq was just smiling for him because he could see the effort. He understands what's happened, and it is what it is. And with Kai and decides, he's going to speak to Tanya and just hear exactly what happened. And, that's it. And then he's moving on. And the guys support him in whatever he chooses to do. On the other hand, Tanya is there chatting away with Martin. Oh, that's a mess. Kai and Jack are busy talking and they're saying, oh, she doesn't seem very comfortable chatting to Martin. Look at how far away she is from Martin. Look at how uncomfortable she looks. And it's just like, why are you being so petty? Why are you being so petty? Leave them alone. Tanya and Martin are discussing the fact that Tanya does need to speak to Shaq and sort of clear the air. And Tanya's sort of saying, yeah, it's very uncomfortable speaking to Martin when Shaq is here, but I still need to give Martin the time of day and stuff. And it's like, not really. Not really. If your connection is not that strong, why are you wasting time? Maxwell is with Olivia, and Olivia likes someone who'll pamper her and make her feel like she's it. And so the fact that she's trying to hold on to Maxwell and she's trying to caress his hand and stuff, I think she's doing it more for Kai to show him that she's happy, not because that's what she wants to do. I think she was more herself in Casa Amor. I think now she's exaggerating her behavior so that she tries to make Kai jealous, which I don't think Kai is even bothered by. Tanya for an explanation, and the explanation is, well, before I left, I was trying to see if you could contain yourself because I didn't like the way you were moving, and we didn't get a chance to do that. And when we got to Casa, Martin showed interest in me, and so I did have conversation with him. He kissed me and he hugged me, and it's like, you participated in that. You participated in that. He just didn't do it out of the blue. He didn't force you. You were participating in that. You encouraged that. So don't try and play victim. And I like the fact that Czech told him, you do you, I do me. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. And I understand that puts him at risk of going home, but I think he would rather go home with his pride than to look like a fool. So Tanya then goes and starts venting to Maxwell and Martin. And Martin is, because Martin was staring at Tanya and Shaq when they were talking, and he was in his feelings. And it's like, why? Tanya knew Shaq before he knew you. So suck it up, buddy. Sit there. He came and he pulled you yesterday, and you left Tanya alone. So he's pulled Tanya. You need to sit there alone and behave yourself and just suck it up because it is what it is. You brought yourself into this triangle, deal with the consequences of your action. So Martin gets in his feelings because Tanya's sort of telling Maxwell and Martin about what she discussed with Shaq. And sort of Tanya asks Martin, how do you feel, okay, now that I've told you what's going on with Shaq. Well, I don't want to be a test in your relationship. I do, and it's like, you are a test. It's at the end of the day, Tanya's going to have to choose between you and Shaq, and she's going to decide who she wants to. And he was very abrupt in the way that she answered him, and I was thinking to myself, well, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. You said Shaq was too aggressive. You said Shaq was too confrontational. You didn't like him for that. And look at the way Martin is speaking to you now. He was very sweet and very loving to you when you were still in Casamo, and now he's showing you his true colors. You have to suck it up, Buttercup, and deal with it. Anyway, poor Sammy on her birthday, they received a message to say that Claudia, Sammy, and Jesse have to go and meet up with Layla, Cynthia, and Lydia because the girls want to have a conversation. And it's like, this is just a mess. This is just a mess. This is just a mess. And so the girls go and meet up. And Claudia sort of asks, and Cynthia is the first one to talk that, we did kiss, and not once, but twice. We spent a lot of time together talking with Casey. Yes, I did straddle him. And Claudia was very dismissive about it. And then she said, when we were standing at the fire pit, he did apologize to me. And I said, don't worry. And Claudia's like, oh, that's really upset me now. And it's like, so you were not bothered about Casey kissing her, but you're bothered that he apologized. Why? Why would you not want him to apologize to someone that he led on? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. And then Lydia was very composed and very sort of well put together because she explained what happened with Tom, and then she told Sammy, and it seemed the same things Tom is. I said this before that Tom is using the same manual on Lydia and Sammy that he used on Zara and used on Ali, and Sammy was like, oh, but he used exactly the same words to me, so he's taking the lines that he's used on me to use on you, and Lydia was like, at the end of the day. I just want you to be happy, and I want you to have a guy that is good for you. So if you think he's it, that's it. I can't say anything else, but it is what it is. Well, it's sad. You have Tom, Will, Casey busy consoling each other because they know they're in trouble. They know they're up to no good, so they know that they're going to, really get an earful when the girls come back. And I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't laugh, but I was hysterical because I just couldn't believe the fact that they had lied, they had minimized their connections to the girls that they had, villa girls that they had coupled with, about their connections with the Casa girls, and now the truth was coming out, and I can't wait, I can't wait. But while sitting with Casey and Tom, Olivia says, "Oh, Cynthia looks like she's going to let it all out," and it's like, you don't even know Cynthia. You barely spoke to her. So what makes you feel like she's suddenly going to expose everything Casey did? Why would you choose to pick on Cynthia? Why? What is your problem, Cynthia? Anyway, Jessie then hears from Layla about her time with Will, and Jessie starts crying again, and it's like, oh my God, she's going to end up being poorly. They're going to end up sending her home from crying. She needs to stop. She needs to, because she's giving Will all the strength by continuing to cry and make it feel like he's really done the worst thing ever to her. I don't get that. The girls then come back to the villa, and they immediately join the other girls and have a conversation. And I like the fact that the guys were sitting together and they kept looking to try and see who's upset. And they were telling them, "Oh my God, Sammy looks really mad. Sammy looks really." It's like, of course she has the right to be mad. Who wouldn't be mad if they were told that their guy was busy hugging and kissing someone and confessing his feelings to her? So hey, it is what it is. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.